Hey, hey, shalom. Hope that all is well with you. I am your host, Michael Israel, with Real TV, sponsored by Spreaker Radio. If you haven't subscribed, why not? Feel free to go on Spreaker.com or you could follow the link below to find free downloads available. So, whether you're in the car, you're in the gym, on the way to work, you can always have this podcast with you and get the latest updates. So, with that being said, again, welcome to all my regulars who's been with me from the get go. You know, mad love to you. I appreciate you. I love y'all. And with that, I just gotta show some love on that one. I gotta show some love. And to all the new subscribers, again, I thank you. If this is your first time on Real TV, basically, I keep it real with you. I keep it 100. Real TV is all about breaking down the truth into simple terms, as simple as they can be. And, just calling a spade, an ace, a ace. And that's what it's all about. Originally, when this podcast was created, it was to break down movies, like a movie reel. So, with that same wording, REEL, I just have to keep it REAL with you. Also, it's very important. So, again, thank you for tuning in. As always, it is a pleasure to have you on the show. So, with that said, let's do an official welcome, right? Today's date, by the way, is Cinco de Mayo, right? May 5th. I know they have some avocados on sale for 39 cents. Better get yours. Today's show is going to be called Wipe Clean. And we got a new one for you. So, this new song tonight that I want to share with you is called Goals. Again, today is May 20th. Pardon me, I am way off. Woo! Today is May 5th, 2018, 2:42 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Georgia, USA. And the weather for the remainder of the week is going to be pretty nice. Today will be the high of 75 with the low of 68. Moving forward to the later part of the week is going to be a little bit toasty, and we will have some rain. Sunday will be a high of 86, low at 63. Monday is partly sunny with thunderstorms, so you may want to bring a light raincoat. Tuesday is going to be thunderstorms with a high of 78, low at 61. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the heat is going to jump up just a little bit to 80 on Wednesday, 84 on Thursday, and with the high on Friday at 90. The lows in the 60s at night. On Saturday, it'll jump down just one notch at 89 degrees. So we're looking at a pretty much toasty week. Normally, you know how it is if you live out here. If it's 89 degrees, it feels more like 99 degrees. So, there we have it. Today's show is going to be called Wiped Out. I'm going to show you this new song. It's called Goals. And then after that, I'm going to start with not on the mainstream news. There's a lot going on in the world. And definitely needs to be talked about. So, speaking of the weather, by the way, I do want to touch on this. Thank you for sending in that info. There's something that was going on in Wisconsin and a few other states about the red flag weather alert, where the temperatures are very, very dry. So they told people not to go outside, even though it's like 80 something degrees. It's not like blistering heat, and it's not an index of like 100 and something. So basically, with the red flag weather alert, is all a derivative from what you call the El Nino that happened around last year during the hurricane season with Hurricane Irma and Hurricane Maria and Harvey and the others. So it happens when the water gets a little bit warmer in some areas. It's either El Nino or El Nina. Well, El Nino causes the weather to be a little bit more dry and hot for the remainder of the year, right? Whether it was created by the Most High, our Heavenly Father, or the government tried to play God and create a geostorm with all those hurricanes, which we talked about in other shows, and we're not going to get too much into that. But either way, it's going to be a dry and warm year in several states. So this red flag weather alert is something similar to the rules in Southern California, like with that can relate to wildfires. Basically, a fire can happen at any time with this red flag alert. So the rules are things like don't go outside, don't throw a cigarette, on the ground, you probably can't barbecue at certain times, and if you do, you have to have like a bucket of water to pour it out, and things like that. So that's what that means. And I hope all is well. No one got heat stroke or nothing like that. Always have to stay refreshed. One of the main reasons, not the main reason, but one of the main reasons why people die besides heart disease is dehydration. A lot of us don't get enough water. A lot of us really don't, and it's very competitive with so many soft drinks, so many juices. A lot of people drink as it is, and they don't get enough fluids. It's a lot of salty foods. It's a lot of sugary cakes and desserts and candies. It's a lot of sugar and everything that just takes away all the water in your body. For every grain of salt, it takes water, like it holds water. So in essence, like it just holds water and just takes it away from, just sucks it out. So we gotta stay hydrated. I don't know why I'm on that one, but here goes the new song. It's called Goals, and we'll be right back. Let me see here. Make sure I got it loaded and launched and ready to go. Okay. Yeah. This one is called Goals, hot off the press, and we'll be back in just a moment with Not on the Mainstream News. They say if it comes from the heart, then it's heartfelt. So I want this to come from the heart. So here it goes. It's about 1:45. I'm chilling at the crib. I got a lot of goals. I want to marry my rib, but I gotta build a crib. I gotta get land. It's a lot of gays. It's a lot of trends. Supply and demand. She know I'm the man. She know I'm the man. Even though I peacock just like a bird and my feathers be out like a fan. I'm black and I be out in the sun. Even though I'm black and when I'm out in the sun, when I go home, it's funny cause I'm tan. I got a lot of goals. I wanna go to the beach and bury my feet. I gotta keep it real for y'all. I run real TV, so I gotta keep it 100 with y'all. So you know me, and so I gotta teach. And it's funny how when I keep it real with y'all, some people say that I can preach, but it's a lot going on. It's a war going on. What you gonna do when the banks close? You don't know? I don't put money in the bank. I put the money on the bookshelf. But I ain't gonna say much though. I don't need to say much though. It's a lot going on though. But I still got goals though. You know? I still pray. I still pray. Like every day. I don't go to the club though. And this is Saturday though. I mean, right now it's Friday. And I'm chilling at my place. I don't go to the club. But I got a lot of goals. I need to go to the store. I need to work out. And I want to eat salads. And I want to write ballads. I got talent. At least I think so. Well, at least I know so. When it comes to the truth, I don't even need a boo. I got a lot of goals. I want to have children. But this world's so crazy. So I don't know about children. But if it comes, I don't know what to say though. But I got a lot of goals though. I gotta get to heaven though. We gotta get to heaven though. I got a lot of goals though. So I hope you got goals too. And we are back with Real TV. I hope you enjoyed that one. That was called Goals, a freestyle as usual. And I had to do it like that. How they say, Yeezy, just jumped over jumping, right? I've heard about Kanye West. I've heard about that he's back on the scene, and I heard about the rant about how he said that slavery was a choice. I'm very familiar with that. My take on that, is Kanye clone? Has he been chipped? I don't think that Kanye's a clone. I don't think that he's been chipped. My take is that he has been spared due to the fact that his nephew, that was just maybe a year old, was sacrificed. I want to say it was last year. Right when everything popped off on stage, when he was talking about Facebook and Google and the presidential election. So when a baby boy is sacrificed for the elite, that is like a golden nugget. That is like the highest form of homage you could pay to Lucifer, is sacrificing a baby boy. And I think that with that sacrifice, according to the book of Satanists, that extends the life of the person who is affiliated with the elite for like a good 5 to 10 years. So, was he drugged? Was he under MK Ultra? You could say in a sense. I'm not surprised if they put him in a chair and they, gave him shock treatment and put him on drugs for a while to keep him docile for a while. He did mention that he was on opioids for a while. And he did mention that he was taking like 2 pills a day when he first got out the hospital. Like as soon as he left the hospital, he was taking 2 opiate pills a day. And he mentioned that the day he left the hospital, they gave him 7 pills to take a day. And he said that, how they was really trying to dope him up. Well, the thing about opioids is that once you get on it, or at least I can't really say all of them, but I do know an opioid like heroin, for an example, once you get on it, you can't really get off of it right away. So if he was taking the pills, he's probably going to have to take the pills for a while, So my take is that he wasn't chipped. He is not a clone, but he was drugged. and the media is making a little money, putting him back on the press because his new album is coming out. And they're having a little fun by letting him entertain the public because he's so vocal like Donald Trump. So, what do I think about Ye talking about how slavery was a choice? I have two things to say. For one is this: to say that slavery was a choice on his end, I see what he's trying to say. I see what he's trying to say in the regards that he's not necessarily, from my view, I don't think that he's necessarily trying to say that we as a whole couldn't do anything about it. I think from his perspective, he feels like he is not just a mogul, not just a superstar, but he feels like he's a leader of being free in speech, being a leader in ideas, being a leader in, like, he probably feels like he's in a bubble where everyone's attacking him and they're afraid to do certain things, right? So from my point of view, I think that when he says that slavery was a choice, he would probably be, if he was a slave back then, you know, even though we're still slaves now, don't get it twisted. Slavery hasn't ended yet. It started in 1619. So it's not fully finished until 2019. 2019 to make it 400 years. We already discussed this. So what I'm saying is that if he was a slave during the era of Harriet Tubman, he would be like a Harriet Tubman as a slave. You know what I mean? Like, he will revolt. So on the other end, I understand that we as Jews, it was a part of what had to be done. So it wasn't it wasn't a choice. It had to be done, you know what I mean? Because of us defiling God and worshiping pagan gods and a whole list of other things that we shouldn't have been doing, we had to go into slavery. And some people will say, well, maybe slavery was a choice because your own people put your own people into the ships. Your own people sold your own people out. Your own people, you know what I mean, killed your own people and gave them away. Well, no, that's not the case. And here's the reason why. When you think about slavery, you think about black people with spears leading their own tribes into the ships to the Englishmen and such, right? That's the vision. Well, the breakdown is that in common sense, one could say that, well, how can black people blame the Caucasians? How can black people blame the white men or settlers, if you will, for putting them on the ships? Their own people sold them out. Their own people gave them away. Here is the breakdown. Let's say that we know that a war is on the brink. World War III is on the brink. Even though there's a lot of drama and everything going on right now, we know that Russia and China and the other countries that are allies with Syria are upset and uncomfortable with the U.S., France, and the UK for sending missiles over there in Syria and Damascus, right? So, what I want to say is this. Let's use the USA as an example. We can say in the sentence that Americans caused the war. Americans caused World War III, right? So we know that America is a melting pot. America is diverse. So to say that Americans caused the war sounds right, but it's not correct. Example is there's black people that live here, there's Chinese people, Indian, there's white, there's German, there's Irish, there's Spanish, Mexican, Amish. There's so many clusters and so many different races from every different country all over the United States. So to say that the Americans started World War III sounds correct, but it's incorrect. But to narrow down on who did what, you could say Donald Trump started it, right? He made the call. Black people don't got nothing to do with it, especially with all the people they're killing and have been killing. Like the guy that was running in the yard that had a cell phone. They shot him 20 times. Black people don't have anything to do with causing World War III. You see what I'm saying? So in the same aspects is that even though you can look at the black race as a race who sold out their own people, it's not true. Because even though we look alike, we are not alike. If you confuse a Korean with the person that's Filipino, they'll get upset. If you confuse a person that is Chinese with a person that is Japanese, they'll get upset. They may look similar in ways, but they are not the same. They're two totally different cultures. You know what I mean? They have two different belief systems and practices. Even diet. So in the same aspect, you have Jews, and then you have Egyptians, and you have a cluster of other different races. Yeah, we were all on Africa, but there were totally different tribes. The ones who put us on the ship were not our people. There's a different tribe. They look black. Our skin is black. We have similar noses, but we were not the same. You understand? So the ones who went on the ship were Jews who came to America. You see? So that's my take, my whole little take on Kanye. Also not on the mainstream news, we understand that Puerto Rico, or Boricua, is going through a lot of turmoil right now. And one of the main reasons being is because of the natural disasters that took place last year with Hurricane Maria. And I want to say it was one more that just left Puerto Rico just flipped upside down. They lost electricity. At least a good 400,000 people has been without electricity. They have a shortage on imports and exports, on food, water. They don't have the bare necessities. It's a lot of damage from buildings. They still have dirty water from the hurricane. So just think, when water clusters up like that, there's a lot of mosquitoes and gnats. They still have wires that are down. A lot of broken buildings and cars that are stuck in the water and mud and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They are going through a tough time and there isn't any assistance. And you would think that they would have a lot of aid since Puerto Rico is considered one of the 50 states. But the way they're treating them like a third world country. So it's been a revolt. Puerto Rico, the residents there have been protesting against the government about what's going on. And they've been pepper sprayed, tear gassed, beaten up, and it's just crazy right now. So this show is called Wipe Clean. They've been wiped clean of everything that they had. And we always have to pray, we got to pray for those who going through situations like that, we have to stay constantly in prayer and, you know, ask that we be in the Lord's favor, because it can happen to any one of us at any given time. Not just a hurricane or tornado, it could be anything. Someone could lose their job, someone could have car trouble, the car could get totaled. It could be their fault, not their fault. They have to pay a deductible, pay these bills. Anything could go wrong at any given time. A lot of people don't have it like that. A lot of people, statistically speaking, in the Americas, pardon me, are living paycheck to paycheck. Just one check away from poverty. And even with that, people not even making it like that. And I personally don't have any credit cards. I'm doing all right. I'm not perfect. You know what I mean? But I know that if I had credit cards like most people do, I would be broke as a joke. And when I did have credit cards, I was broke as a joke. Meaning that a person can get a check. They can stay in an apartment that costs, I don't know, $750, $800. They could make $1,000 check. Okay, yeah, they could live in a decent place. They pay their rent. And then after rent, you have to pay, depending on your area, water bill, electric bill. People have phone bills. Phone bill is not like it costs $50 unless you with Cricket or what is the other one? MPS Metro or some Metro PC or something like that. Or you got a old Jitterbug phone off of paid programming or something. You're gonna pay about $100 for a phone, especially if it's new. And everybody got to stay up with new stuff, so your first check is gone. Plus, you got to get food. You got to pay your car. Then, the next check, you got to pay your... If it's not the same check, you got to pay your car note, car insurance. You got to pay for food. You got to get oil change. You want a new shirt. You got to get work shoes. You know what I mean? You want to go out somewhere. A lot of people get takeout, so you got to get gas. It's a lot. People are broke. And if you got a credit card... Oh man, it's a lot going on. Anybody could be easily wiped clean, and we have to be conscious of that. I was running the other day, and I was brought down to reality quick about how thankful I need to be, and I had to do this show like ASAP. But I was running over the bridge, and I saw some homeless people living under a bridge, had tents set up. They're out there cooking. They had a pot, and they were cooking it over wood. And it brought me down to reality quick. Like, I had already ran about 11, 12 miles, and I'm already physically exhausted, but I was spiritually exhausted. And it messed, and mentally, sad, to see them in those circumstances living under the bridge, thinking like, man, like what happened, how did they get there? Not just that they're there, but like what happened? What wiped them clean? Oh man. Not on the mainstream news, you need to stay away from romaine. Romaine lettuce is contaminated. There's been outbreaks of salmonella. So, as always, you gotta pray. But since you're in the know now, so just be careful with the romaine for a while. Let's see here. I know we got a couple of things. I know what's been going on in the news, y'all. Y'all got anything for me? Let's see. I know we should have a couple of things. Let me scroll here through. Let me scroll through. Look at some of these slides. I know there's a lot, but I'm actually I'll cut it short on the not on the mainstream news right now. One main thing that we do need to know about, I'll say two more things. Wells Fargo, they're gonna be closing over 800 banks. It's something to make you wonder, like, why are they closing these banks? But supposedly they got in some legal trouble as far as not meeting their, I want to say they wasn't meeting their quotas, and they were doing something they wasn't supposed to do that had to do with mortgages, not selling enough mortgage loans and things like that, and they're closing their banks. I just received a notice the other day from Bank of America that they're closing some local ATMs in the area. So that's a little side note to make you wonder what's really going on. Like I've mentioned before, enjoy your money. Enjoy your money. There's nothing wrong with saving. So I'm not going to shun that. I put a disclaimer because I don't want somebody to spend all their money on one night from listening to this show. And they're like, hey, Michael, you said, enjoy your money, Enjoy your money, though, But, eat good food, enjoy life. Because it won't always be like this. With all these distractions, there is still a war going on right now. U.S., France, and Great Britain sent missiles to Syria. We still have to keep that in mind. There's a lot of distractions right now. There's a lot going on in the news right now. We know, Roseanne is coming back, old Roseanne, and all this other stuff that's irrelevant, pretty much. We need to focus on prayer. We need to pray more. We need to pray for ourselves. We need to pray for others. We need to eat right. This is still a new year. It's still a new year. We need to be working out. We need to be getting fit. You prepare for war during the time of peace. So you got to get healthy. What if all the stores shut down soon? I'm not just talking about retail. I'm talking about grocery. Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, Kroger, Sprouts, all those stores. Everybody shut down. Imports, exports shut down. There's no trucks coming in. You can't go to work. And what you got is what you got. Whatever food you got now is what you got. But what if you could get some? All the groceries said, like, come in, get whatever you can get, 80% off. But your car broke down. Or you don't have enough gas to get to the grocery store. You don't have a bike. You don't have rollerblades. What you gonna do? You know what I mean? Are you able to walk to your grocery store? Are you able to jog? Are you able to put on the backpack and load up? If they said, first come, first serve, free food, get what you can get. Are you going to be able to carry the load back? You know what I mean? What if you have to go to a different state? Go cross country, or if you live in the mountains, what if you have to go hiking into a safe area? Or, you know what I mean? We have to prepare for war during the time of peace. I would say enjoy your money, but at the same time, be wise. Noah built an ark, and Noah was commissioned to gather food for him and his family. I know the scriptures say to not worry about what you should eat for the next day, but I do understand that the scripture also mentioned that we should be wise as serpents, harmless as doves. So with that wisdom, and we see all this animosity going on, we understand that there's a world war going on. At any given time, your bank account could be wiped clean. And if you don't have any money to go to your bank or to withdraw from the ATM, what are you going to do for food? It's not like there's local trees in your neighborhood where you could just go pluck an apple, pluck a pineapple, pluck bushberries. They should be all over the highways, all in neighborhoods and all in businesses. But they'll never do it because the groceries will never make any money. We have to be prepared. We have to be prepared. And what inspired me to do this show is just all this crazy stuff that's going on. When you speak the truth and you try to, you know, give this word, there's a lot that comes with it. And one day, I had an issue with my computer. So I shut it down, restarted it, and when I restarted it, all of my downloads were wiped clean. All of my books that I had of excellent information, about esoteric information, about things that have to do with truth, stories from, an example, like a book from Admiral Byrd about his voyage to Antarctica, the lieutenant who saw the edge of the earth, if you will, who noticed that we're under a dome, stuff like that. And I just lost so much information. All of my software, it was just wiped clean, and all of my notes, and I had to brush it off. I'm not upset about anything. It's a little bit like frustrating it was a little bit frustrating, but I find that whoever would do something like that to someone, a hacker, or whoever's watching us, on our phones, listening to us, NSA and all this stuff, it's just a trip, man. It's very childish, to be honest. You know what I mean? The truth is going to be out whether a person wants it or not. You ever try to kill a roach and you notice that they just can't be killed no matter what? You know what I mean? The truth is is not like a roach, but the truth is going to be truth, You cannot hide. The truth is like the sun. The sun rises and the sun sets. You may see the sun go, but it's going to come back one day. The truth will come around. You know what I mean? That's just how truth is. So it is what it is. Whether I'm saying the truth, somebody's going to say the truth. Somewhere in the world, to somebody somewhere, whether it's online, in person. You know what I mean? So that's that. And that's what inspired me to do the show. I'll say something a little funny real quick before I go. But this is something basic, though. We got to wipe clean when we in the shower, too, when we wash it. Some people like to use the soap first. Nah, you gotta wash first with the water. You got to rinse. You got to open up your pores. And then you lather with the soap. But some people lather with the soap first. You're doing it backwards. Nah, you got to use the water, then the soap. There you go. So you got to wipe clean. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the show. This is a late night one, so here's a little something for you. If you're in on this weekend night, this is something for you. So it's good to have goals. It's good to make a good plan, just in case, just in case. We still got to be ready. I got a video coming up soon that you shall enjoy. So stay tuned for the next show. I love you much, and looking forward to the next show. Real TV, Michael Israel. You say if it comes from the heart, then it's heartfelt. So I want this to come from the heart. So here it goes. It's about 1:45. I'm chilling at the crib. I got a lot of goals. I want to marry my rib, but I gotta build a crib. I gotta get land. It's a lot of gays. It's a lot of trans. Supply and demand. She know I'm the man. She know I'm the man. Even though I peacock just like a bird and my feathers be out like a fan. I'm black and I be out in the sun. Even though I'm black, and when I'm out in the sun, when I go home, It's funny cause I'm tan. I got a lot of goals. I wanna go to the beach and bury my feet. I gotta keep it real for y'all. I run real TV, so I gotta keep it 100 with y'all. So you know me, and so I gotta teach. And it's funny how when I keep it real with y'all, some people say that I can preach, but it's a lot going on. It's a war going on. What you gonna do when the banks close? You don't know? I don't put money in the bank. I put the money on the bookshelf. But I ain't gonna say much though. I don't need to say much though. It's a lot going on though. But I still got goals though. You know? I still pray. I still pray. Like every day. I don't go to the club though. And this is Saturday though. Right now it's Friday. And I'm chilling at my place. I don't go to the club. But I got a lot of goals. I need to go to the store. I need to work out. And I want to eat salads. And I want to write ballads. I got talent. At least I think so. Well, at least I know so. When it comes to the truth, I don't even need a boo. I got a lot of goals. I want to have children. But this world's so crazy. So I don't know about children. But if it comes, I don't know what to say though. But I got a lot of goals though. I gotta get to heaven though. We gotta get to heaven though. I got a lot of goals though. So I hope you got goals too.